Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with the Future. I am your host, Mad Dog DeCipio, joined as I am each and every week by Firecracker Chapman, Amelia, the Firecracker Chapman. How you doing, Amelia?
Good. How are you?
I am fair to middling. I'm pretty good tonight. Feel pretty good.
Good.
But I look like 12 miles of bad road. So I saw you. When did I see you last? Was Thursday.
Thursday night. Yeah.
Oh, well, what happened between Thursday and now? You got to fill me in.
Just nothing but work, and dealing with coworkers.
Look, it's not always work. I'm sure you went out, you went dancing, you went to the club, you got loaded, you and
No.
Jeff got drunk for the weekend, you shacked
Nope.
up in a cheap motel somewhere, right? No?
Nope. Just stayed home and.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we have a young lady with us tonight, but she's a newbie to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Newbie to the show, as she is Eva Rae Birch, and she was supposed to be a part of a panel on Ladies' Night Out, Part 4. Problem, though, and we have to tell people that Princess Victoria, who has never missed a Ladies' Night Out, missed the Ladies' Night Out tonight. She sure did. She certainly did. So we want to extend our well wishes to Vicky. She's not feeling well.
Yeah.
In her words, not doing well tonight. So get well, get yourself better, and I will see you hopefully soon.
Yeah, eat some of that soup that you were making.
Yeah,
that soup. Yes.
Eat some soup, or I'm gonna come to Oklahoma and kick your ass. But we have Eva Rae Birch tonight by herself. We were supposed to have a young lady named Amy Wilson. Amy decided to take a powder also. She's a MIA. She's missing in action. So, Amy, you had an opportunity and you pooped on it, kid. So there you go. So, without further ado, Ladies' Night Out is now an evening with Eva.
Welcome, Eva.
With that.
Hi, welcome, guys.
Beautiful. How you doing, kid?
I'm good. How are you?
I am absolutely amazing. Just look at me.
We want to thank you for taking time to speak with us tonight.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Thank you really for being with us tonight. You're the only one here. I said to Amelia, I said, you realize if Eva doesn't show up, it's going to be you and me. So, I'm grateful to have you here. So let's talk about this. One of the things that we do on the show is we feature a prominent female wrestlers, how they got started, what made them fans of wrestling. You have quite an extensive biography that I will share as part of this show tonight. But interestingly enough, that you weren't really a wrestling fan. You watched because your brothers watched.
I did. I had 6 brothers growing up, and the 2 youngest were still at home when I was young, and they're about 7 to 9 years older than me. So there was no option of what I got to watch on the TV. We had one TV, and it was on wrestling or it was on horror movies, and I just got to sit and watch.
So they basically commandeered the TV.
They did in the mornings after school.
Oh, wow.
And you're the channel changer, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, no one needs a remote.
Right?
So I'm guessing, though, that after a while, Eva, you started enjoying what you were seeing. What was it that kind of, like wrestling does it to all of us, Amelia? You know, you happen to do. It sucks us in. It's like a virus that gets a hold of you. So what was it about you, Eva, that wrestling just kind of sucked you in? What was it?
Honestly, for me, I've always been a large kid. I grew up very heavy in school. I always got made fun of. So when I watched stuff like that, I was really interested in the athleticism of all the wrestlers and the kind of stuff that they could do, because I never thought I could do any of that myself.
Right.
And so that really drew me into a place where, when you're a kid, you fantasize and you make up stories in your head, and We had a
Oh God,
trampoline.
sure.
So,
I still
you
do
know,
that. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
but yeah,
Yeah.
you know, we had a trampoline and I'd go outside and try moves, and between, you know, wrestling and the Power
Yeah.
Rangers being big, you know, that's where I
Mhm.
spent my time.
Power
Yes.
Rangers. Oh my God, you're
Yeah.
making me feel so old. Oh,
Yeah, and I was the total opposite in school. I was the skinny one trying to get the muscles and going to when it was PE time and it was like, oh, it's weightlifting time. I was like, yes, I was gonna go in the weight room and try and lift weights during the
mhm.
6 weeks period and I was getting there and then it's like, okay, now it's gonna be volleyball. I'm like, oh man, you know, so I
Yeah.
lost that time and I couldn't go to the weight room or anything like that because it was all boys and I'm like, what am I gonna do? There wasn't
Well,
really a lot for girls
that's an
back then.
interesting point, Amelia.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
really interesting point.
Mhm.
There was a time that you never saw girls in the
You
weight
didn't.
room. Now
Mm-mm.
there's more girls in the weight room
Mhm.
than guys.
Yes. Yes, there
It's
is.
true, and then some of them are pretty buff, you know.
Yes. Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yes, and well, you know, if you take the steroids away, I don't know how buff they are, but they're, they're eating roids like candy, for
Mhm.
God's sake. But you're doing the right thing, Eva.
All
You're going
natural.
natural.
Mhm.
Mhm.
All natural. So you got this crazy family of 6 brothers, and um, you know they hijacked the TV from you, so you're stuck watching this male soap opera called wrestling, right? And
Yeah.
so it kind of like little by little it starts to pick at you, and then like it does to all of us, it like a virus, it consumes us, right?
Mhm.
When did you realize that you had become a fan? Not just somebody who is watching it, that you enjoyed what you were seeing.
Well, I think you know, what I saw mostly was through the 90s. So it was a big portion of the Attitude Era.
Did
Mhm.
you
Um,
grow up in the Hulk Hogan generation, or were you after that?
I was more really I was more when Stone Cold was Stone Cold.
Yes.
Okay, Steve
Um,
Austin. Okay,
and
gotcha.
you know, and I went back into the 80s, into the 70s later, you know,
Mhm.
myself, like
Hmm.
a huge fan of Macho Man. You
Yeah.
know, because the 80s is really where the costumes and, you know,
Mhm.
the overselling gimmick stuff came out, and I loved it. Like I absolutely loved it. But the 90s
Mhm.
was just the Attitude Era, which I grew up with. I was a big Stone Cold fan because that's what my brothers loved. And it was
Yeah.
one of those things where, you know, my youngest brother was 7 years older than me, so we could use it
Hmm.
to talk and we could use it to get along and, you know, things like that. And of course, at school, Stone Cold was the only thing everybody talked about.
Oh God, yeah,
So
right.
it kind of draws you in. And I never was a big, oh, I love, you know, feminine things and I want to go do this and I want to go that. I
Mhm.
remember a time I maybe wanted to dance, you know,
Mhm.
because I always
Yeah.
saw pretty girls dancing. They're always thin. And I was like, well, you know, I'll never do that because I know how I'm built. I'll never be super
Right.
skinny.
But you'll
Um,
kick their ass.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Here's the thing. It's funny that you say that you grew up in that Austin generation, and
Mm.
or the what they call the Attitude Era. My very
Yes.
dear friend Vince Russo is largely responsible for that. You know that, right?
Right. You know, I've seen some
Yeah.
stuff here
Vince
and
is a
there.
friend of
So,
Mhm.
mine. Been on the
oh,
show a couple
really?
times. Yeah.
Mhm.
Been
That's
on our show a
incredible.
couple times too. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Oh,
three
wow.
times already.
Mhm.
But yeah, Vince is a hell of a guy, and I think very underappreciated as a writer
Mhm.
and creator. People like to they like to shit on Vince, you know. But that's what happens though when people are jealous, you know. So he succeeded and you didn't. Well, be happy for him, you
Right.
know. You
I think a lot
fucker.
more people succeed if we supported each other instead of just fighting about
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Thank
Yes.
you.
Mhm.
Exactly. It tells me on my screen over here that you fell in love with a lot of the wrestling from the 80s
Mhm.
later because of the over the top storylines and
Hmm.
costume. Well, there you go. Again, Vince
Yeah.
Russo. You made your own costumes. I found that fascinating. So, what was it about? Like, were you just like one of those people like to dress up, or were you part of that? Like, I don't know if they have it where you are, but there's up here. What's really big is called the Renaissance Fair.
Hmm.
Oh, you
Mhm.
did that? Okay.
Yeah, we have well, down where I live, there's not any, but up in Kansas City, there's a big one every year. And, That's kind of where I cut my teeth with the Renaissance stuff and where I started really
Oh,
wanting the
okay.
costume. And then I got into the cosplay convention stuff. And I mean, I've competed across the United States
Yeah.
and won some awards. The last place I was at, I went to New York Comic-Con, competed
Right.
there in the Crown Championship cosplay. And I mean,
Can you tell
it's a great
people,
time.
Eva, how that works? Tell everybody, Eva, how you're judged and how it works, and are there like categories? How does that whole cosplay thing work? Because I hear that word, but you got to remember, I'm an old fart, so I really don't understand that stuff. So
Well,
tell me, how does that, like, what's behind that?
Well, it honestly depends on the convention. Every convention has a different rule set. Your bigger conventions, especially the ones that have the really big prizes, TwitchCon, the giant Comic Cons like San Diego, New York, you know, they want you to come in with a costume that's almost exact replica of the character you're trying to portray.
Wow.
And so,
Really?
you know,
That can get expensive, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Really? Wow.
You know, when you break it down, they'll judge you your overall appearance.
Right.
They'll judge the materials you used. I mean, and between first and second place in a particular category, like when I went to New York Comic Con, it was based off of like one category was comics, one category was movies, and then some of your other large cosplay only convention contests, you'll have like armor versus fabric versus like larger than life stuff. And
holy shit.
Oh yeah, and I mean
that's like a job.
Oh yeah, they'll turn your costume upside down, make sure you finished your edges. They'll, you know, if you used foam to make your costume, even though it looks like leather, but somebody else actually worked with leather, you know, it's minute details between first and second place.
That's crazy, Amelia.
Yes.
Ask away.
Well, just like she was talking about, just like on the Big Bang Theory, remember the TV show? They were like to the T with their costumes, up to the makeup and everything.
We're gonna have something to talk about. Go ahead.
Oh yes, absolutely. Because I was looking at that, and you know, just like how they dressed up in the Comic-Con costumes, and then they, of course, got the car stolen. Remember that episode?
Yeah.
That was so funny, and they had to walk, and they're like, oh, we're, next generation. And then like, beam me up, Scotty. And they're like looking at each other. And I remember, and they were like, it was so funny.
That's one of my favorite episodes because it's so relatable.
That was one of my favorites. And then, also like Grey's Anatomy, how they had the costumes as doctors right to the T, the hospital beds. I mean, you have to get everything perfect, just like you said. And then also like Supernatural is one of my favorites too.
Oh, I love Supernatural.
That is, oh my goodness. It's like,
now that's a show that I like.
I love Supernatural.
I'm a Dean girl.
My favorite lineup. Wednesday nights was the best lineup in the world.
I know.
Supernatural and the Ghost Whisperer.
Oh, I love the Ghost Whisperer. That's another one of my favorites. Yes.
That's me. Well,
I still watch the reruns.
Well, Amelia knows that I have a special appreciation for that because I'm a psychic. That's my job. So, and that's like legit job. That's what I do. Yeah. And so the Ghost Whisperer is like one of like my kind of show.
Oh yeah, and I still watch that.
Anything that's like outer worldly, I'm there. Count me in.
I'm still a Jared Padalecki fan. I still watch The Walker.
I haven't seen much of it, but I've heard good things.
Oh, you have to watch it. It's a great show. It's a great show. And his other co-star is going to be, actually, I think it's coming up soon. He's going to be directing one of the episodes.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Wow.
Yes, it's going to be.
Well, you're really up on this stuff, Amelia. Huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I watch TV when that's what we do on the weekends.
I'm gonna go out and eat. I'm gonna go out for dinner. I'll be back.
Oh,
I'll be back in an hour.
So it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those nice episodes where they're gonna get together again, and I like to see that.
Oh,
I like to watch the old episodes, and I heard also that they're gonna be doing another show as the parents coming back again, and I thought, oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and it's
Supernatural as the parents.
And it's supposed to be, I believe, Jensen and his wife.
Yes.
So
Jensen
I don't
and
think
his wife.
Jared's involved in it right now.
No,
so
not yet, because he's doing the Walker show right now.
but I'm really
So,
excited about that.
oh,
Anything with
that
Jensen and Supernatural.
yes, absolutely. And then did
Right?
you see the thing on Facebook where they did the meme about if these two guys asked you to come in their car, would you? I said, heck yeah, I'm be the first one in the car. Let's
That's the
go.
safest car.
Yes, I'll
Well,
be the
let
first
I
one
want
in.
to I know you two are having a little chit chat, but I want to show
Uh-huh.
you a little something here.
Uh-huh.
Um, take a look at this.
Okay.
This is Eva Rae. See this?
Yes.
You gotta walk me through this, Eva. How does this
Oh,
beautiful
beautiful.
lady turn into a monstrous, evil, mean wrestler? How do you do that? How do you transform this person into like a brute?
Well, so like I said, I've always been big, and I got into some plus size modeling with the
Oh,
costuming and stuff
okay.
like that. And so
Right.
I know a few
Sure.
photographers, a few makeup artists, and this is one where I volunteered. She was trying to expand her portfolio,
Good for her.
and I absolutely love photo shoots and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm big, so I've always had self-esteem issues and stuff like that, but I absolutely love going and doing the photo shoots and
Mm-hmm.
taking the
Good for
pictures. And
you.
so and that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what this was. Like I grew up, breaking cattle and
Oh,
showing them
look
how
at
to lead,
that.
and
There
that's
Mm-hmm.
she
just
is
strong
flexing
stuff.
again. Always
Mm-hmm.
flex. Amelia, she must have 500 flex pictures.
It's
Oh, I
probably
love it.
true.
But you know what? And it's good though because then you can see your progress that
Oh,
way.
yes, absolutely.
I do. I
You
love
know?
looking back and looking at
Yeah, and we're gonna.
So,
There's your husband.
oh, look at
Not
that.
only is Eva Rae pretty, but she's smart because she married the referee.
them.
There you go.
Hey, listen, he's already told me he's never going to let me win. I can't let him in my ring.
Oh, really? You tell him that the word divorce is not always far away.
He says there's no divorce, only murder. So I'm like, okay,
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
you'll have to kill his ass. Okay, I
it's
got you.
it's who gets in first.
That's funny. Here's another one. Popping away there. Now, Eva, what are we seeing here in this photo? And where is this photo taken?
So this was at the Hope Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Wrestling for a Cause out of Tulsa put on a seminar with Silas
Oh.
Young.
Right.
And so that was a few weekends ago. I got to go participate in that. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to work, so I signed up late. But I tell you what,
Mhm.
that was an amazing seminar. He was absolutely great. He divided us up with the ones still training and the ones who have had matches. And I mean,
Right.
just a whole world of information.
Now, how far into your training are you right now?
March 24th will be a year.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
So
Really?
yep,
I
we're going
want
on a year.
people to hear what she just said. She's been in training a year.
Mm-hmm.
If any school says to you, and I'm serious when I say this, folks,
Yes.
if any school says to you, you'll be here for 2 or 3 months, and then you'll be out on your own. We'll get you matches. We'll get you whatever if they say that to you, you come to me because I'm calling bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is going to have you ring ready in 3 to 6 months. It's at least a 1 year process.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it from me, I know because I was trained by the best. The late pretty boy Larry Sharp at the Monster Factory. That's where I cut my teeth, at the Monster Factory.
Wow.
And if you could make it through the Monster Factory, and Larry was one tough son of a bitch, boy, let me tell you something. He was a tough trainer. But if you got through that school, then you were good.
That's
Ask people like Stevie Richards, The Big Show. God, who else? Oh my God, who the hell else? Bam Bam Bigelow. All these legends in wrestling. What else we got here? There you go. One more for the road. One more for the road. But this is good though. This is beautiful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful stuff. That's I put that little video together for Eva. Do you have a copy? Did I send you a copy?
Not yet.
You don't have a copy of that?
I don't.
Okay. Well,
Just the
I'm
millions of
going.
pictures.
I'm going to send you a copy of that video so you have it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you bet. It's a big file, so I'll have to send it to your email.
Okay.
And then and I'll get that all later on. So, we're talking about training as a female wrestler. Very different than a guy, because there's a different approach to handling women than you do with the guys. I think there's, in some ways, and I wish to God Princess Victoria were here, because she could tell you that they weren't easy on her. You know, they trained her like the boys. And in a lot of ways, that was maybe a better approach, because if you could take the bumps that the guys take and build up a tolerance for it, you became a really great worker, like like Princess Victoria, Velvet McIntyre, Fabulous Moolah, Wendy Richter, Donna Christianello, oh my God, Penny Banner, June Byers, people like that. Legends were made cutting their teeth on hard rings and training with the guys. But now it's, at least from what I see in that photo, it doesn't seem to be, and again, Eva, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem to be playing favorites there. It looks like the girls and the guys are trained the same way. Am I right?
So in my area right now, we've got one other female that's training. She started a few months ago. You know,
Right.
there's a significant height difference.
Yeah.
And we do get paired up sometimes because she is a lot smaller. But when I started here at Mid States Wrestling, that was one of the first things that my trainer, Jason Jones, told me. He said,
Yeah.
listen, I train you with the guys, like the guys, you do what they do, you know, if it's an issue, we'll talk about it. You
Right.
know, and for me, like, I was the only female here at the time, and I was grateful for that, because I want to be able to do intergender matches without somebody questioning whether I can wrestle or not, you know.
Whoa,
And
I tell you what, boy, did you open up a hot button?
Yes.
Holy shit, man! Oh
Yeah.
boy, did you! Holy crap!
Yep.
Oh man,
Yep.
how do I want to get there? Okay,
Yep.
the whole idea. I had a friend of mine. May he rest in peace. Years ago, his name was Andy Kaufman. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
maybe not the Andy Kaufman that I'm thinking of.
Yes, that Andy Kaufman.
Okay.
Yeah. Andy Kaufman, you know, the television actor, comedian,
Yes.
was also a wrestling fan and wrestled women.
Okay.
Okay. Those women beat the shit out of him. Okay.
Is that what she's taking a
beat
drink
the
there?
snot out of him. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people won't tell you. He liked it. He liked it. It used to arouse him sexually to get beat up by women wrestlers.
Hey,
Just-
everybody has something.
Yeah, boy, I don't know shit. But the whole intergender thing, I got a real problem unless you're built like, oh God, who would I want to compare?
China.
Unless you're built like China
Or
or Jackie and or Eva Rae Birch, and you're like jacked to the gills with muscles and shit. Unless you're a woman that's really like muscled up, then you're going to have a real problem wrestling, like straight up shoot style wrestling with a guy, because guys are just built different. They're built a little harder. They're built a little a little bit more squared off, where women have that little more curve to them. Unless you're eating steroids like candy and you look like some of these bodybuilders that Eva knows, you know, and you walk around and go, "Hi, my name's Melissa." You know?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And
yeah, but you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you could have a problem. I've never been a big fan of intergender matches, and there's a couple of exceptions. Unless the participants are really, really top notch at their game. I'll give you a perfect example. In fact, I want you to go on YouTube and look for it. It's Princess Victoria and Lanny Poffo versus Buddy Landel and Wendy Richter. Took place in Texas, Amelia's hometown.
Yes.
Okay. Now, that was a hell of a match, but look who's involved in that match. They're four amazingly great wrestlers. You've got Lanny Poffo, Leaping Lanny Poffo, Randy Savage's brother. You got Princess Victoria, got Wendy Richter, 3-time ladies champion. The Nature Boy Buddy Landel, 2-time world champion. You know, you're talking about like championship quality material here. But the interesting thing is they all know how to work. Not all intergender matches work because they don't all know how to work. You understand? So
Absolutely.
I applaud you
Yes.
for wanting to get involved in like some intergender stuff, but I will say this to you. Make sure that for your own sake, and for your credibility and your reputation, don't get in there with people who have less experience than you. Get in there with people in many ways or cases that have more experience than you because they'll make you look good. Somebody who has less experience than you is going to make you look bad. So if you get a chance to do an intergender match, make sure it's with somebody that's been around for a little bit.
Yeah. I've watched some. I went out and I've watched them, especially on YouTube. And, for me, even apart from just like working with people that, necessarily know what they're doing, it all comes down to that ring psychology. I mean, at the end of the day, is, say 150-pound woman really going to beat a 350-pound man?
Right.
I love Eva Rae Birch.
Yes.
You might be my new side chick. She said the magic word. If you watch this show, we've been on the air for 4 years. I must have said the word psychology easily 10,000 times. I'm not even shitting. My favorite aspect of professional wrestling, and I want you, Eva, I promise you, watch this episode. It's called Storytelling and Ring Psychology. It was one of the best episodes we've ever done so far. This might be the second.
Yeah. This is
Ring
the second.
psychology, the art of storytelling. Eva is absolutely right. You're not going to have a 120-pound woman suplex or clothesline a 240-pound man. It ain't going to happen. I don't care how muscled up she is. It ain't going to happen.
No.
Okay? There's just physical, symmetrical differences between male and female athletes. Are they both athletes? Yes, they're both athletes. Are they both skilled? Yes, they're both skilled. Because I'm talking to my critics out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not a sexist. I get it, okay? There's a difference. They're men and they're women. Here's the thing. Eva Rae is smart enough to know that there's a difference. The psychology is there. I'm proud that the psychology is there for you, young lady, because whoever is training you the right way. And tell them I said, and I've been in this business for 45 years. Okay? Long time. I've been around for a long time in this business, and I worked for everybody, including the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. That was my first job. That was a long time ago, and I was a young man. And even then, even more so then, ring psychology and storytelling were the words of the day. You couldn't have a match without telling a story. There was a psychology behind it. and it's missing today. And please tell your trainer that I said, God bless you for doing it right.
Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
Amelia,
Yes.
take it away. Ask some questions.
Well, I mean,
And wrestling stuff. Don't talk about cosplay. So we're all that.
oh hush. See how he interrupts me? Yeah. Speaking about the training part, I saw that you were in an accident back in 2021.
hmm
Has that hurt? You've been training a little bit, or have you having to work a little bit harder now? Because I was in an accident about 3 years ago, and I'm still barely getting back into the swing of things. Because the bruises that you had is exact the same place I had my bruises
hmm
at because of the seatbelt,
Yeah.
and it hurts. Trust me.
So
It,
my first year of training's been kind of plagued by a few injuries. I partially tore my MCL in June.
mm-hmm.
And right about when it was almost healed up completely is when I got into the car accident.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the thing with the car accident, I didn't break anything.
Thank goodness.
But where the seatbelt was, I've got some indentions in like my musculature that I'm trying to work over, and those have gotten better, but it dislocated my collarbone.
Oh my gosh.
Which is what was really painful. And I mean, even today, I still have some issues with power as far as like benching, doing certain motions with my arm. And I've gotten to a point now with training that it's not so much of an issue. But it was a point where I would get to where it would be too painful. I'd have to step out for a few minutes.
Right.
But I'm excessively stubborn. my husband will tell you,
Yes.
and
Good. You need to be, especially in wrestling,
Yes.
you need to be excessively stubborn.
Yep. And that's so, I probably should have taken a couple months off, but I mean, as soon as I could get back in the ring and just do as much as I could, I would go until I could.
Let me tell you
stop.
something.
Yeah.
Be thankful, and I'm being so serious right now. Be thankful you did not take any time off, because you very well may not be sitting here right now.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you stayed and pushed through it, toughed it through, like we like to say, that you worked through the pain. You're going to work injured. Just make no mistake about it. In wrestling, you're going to work injured. If you can learn to work injured, you're going to learn to work smart. Okay? Steve Austin and The Undertaker are two examples of two of the most injury-prone guys in wrestling. And you may not believe it,
Yes.
because Steve Austin is built like a piece of granite, and The Undertaker is just a big monster of a guy. Like, he's 6'10", is a big dude. But these two guys are the most injury-prone wrestlers you'll ever see. Here's why they worked as long as they did. Because they worked smart. They had to, because they worked hurt. Because they had to.
Yes.
If you can't work hurt and you say to your promoter, I can't go in the ring tonight, guess
Because
what?
I'm hurt. Yep.
There's going to be 10 guys behind you that will.
That will take your place. Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm having
You
to work
see
on
when
my
Eva
legs lifting.
did that to fix her shirt? Did you see that bicep pop out? Look like, that's the gun show, Eva Rae's gun show.
Right? Yeah, because I'm still having to work with my legs, lifting them up and everything, because I've lost a lot of weight too, and that's where I lost a lot of my feeling was in my legs, because I got T-boned. So I'm having to work with my legs too, so it's hard.
Well,
but I'm still doing it every day. Every day I'm still doing it.
That's a good
Get that
point,
power.
Amelia. Amelia, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Eva, how has your injury affected the I don't want to say the way you train or the way you work out. How has it affected the psychology of your training? What are you doing differently now that you didn't do before?
Well, when I partially tore my MCL, I did a simple thing. It was in the ring, and I had brought my foot down, and I landed wrong with my foot, and that was it. And it does a thing to you where you're in pain. You don't want to be in pain.
Yeah.
So it's like getting over that. It's like, if I get back in the ring, I'm going to be in more pain. What if I hurt myself again? But they didn't put me through PT. They just threw me in a knee brace and said, hey, give it, however long. So I did my own PT. I did my own research. I figured out, what
Did you
stretches I need to
really?
do. Because I
You
wanted to get
fixed
back
yourself,
there.
you became your own doctor.
Yeah,
Pretty
her
much,
own
like,
Boy,
EMT.
you are a
yeah.
stubborn one, ain't you?
I
Yep.
am. I wanted to get back
Yep.
in there. And you know,
Mhm.
the thing was
Good
I
for
started
you.
powerlifting
Right.
because, you know, watching the wrestling world, the majority of your wrestlers didn't come into it as we just found this guy on the street. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
an athlete of some kind. They, you know, CrossFit, amateur wrestling, collegiate
Mm-hmm.
wrestling,
Yes.
you know, military. They're
Mhm.
an athlete of some kind. And so I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, I love lifting weights. I want to do this. Powerlifting's for me. And my very first meet, you know, I deadlifted 300 pounds and I ended up pulling one of my pectoral muscles,
Mhm.
which
Right.
limited some stuff. But I got back in the ring because I could still do. It was just a while before I could do my powerlifting
Yeah.
stuff again. And you know, I'm
How
so
long have you
injury
been
prone.
powerlifting?
Since I started training the beginning of last January.
Did
So
anybody ever explain to you body mechanics and how to lift?
I did. I found a trainer who was already working with some females that were specifically powerlifting.
Right.
Mostly because in that aspect, I really wanted someone who understood the female body and
Yeah.
how it was different and how they, you know, women build muscles different and how the hormones
Yeah.
affect the kind of muscle that you build and where you build it.
I'll tell
And
you what, a
so,
lot of people don't understand, and I think you're starting to understand. Men and women are built differently, but
mhm,
women have, and I really believe this. I really believe this with my heart. Women have a distinct advantage when it comes to legs
mhm,
because women are built for childbearing. They have incredibly strong glutes and legs and thighs and calves.
mhm.
You watch a woman athlete. Look at her thighs. Look at her calves. They're enormous because they're constantly in motion. That's where your strength is as a power lifter. It's
Mhm.
not in your back.
Mhm.
It's not
Mhm.
in your arms. It's in your legs. You know, and I've
Well,
seen your legs, and you got some strong legs.
well, and
You know,
that's
use them. Is what I'm telling you. Use them.
yeah,
Don't
and
stop pulling your pecs and everything. Work smart.
well, it's funny though because when I first started powerlifting, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it depending on the competitions, there's generally three core lifts.
Right.
There's the squats, the deadlifts, and then the
Yeah.
bench.
Yep.
Mhm.
Um, and you know, I've always had issues as far as like my knees, doing a lot of walking, growing up on the farm, pulling, pushing, you know, with animals,
Right.
having
Mhm.
good knees. So I really didn't jump into the squats right away. I love bench, so I jumped in the bench, but I've never done deadlifting. And day one, we wanted to figure out, you know, what's my one rep max, so I know what
Mm-hmm.
to work for and what to work from. Day
Mhm.
one, I
Right.
started deadlifts at 275. You know, so
Right.
that was my big lift. Um, and I know, you know, I know squats will be up there when I can finally get back to it, but I was finally getting to squats, and then of course I tore my
Mhm.
MCL and then the car
Mm.
accident and
Yeah.
one thing to
It
another.
happens.
Yeah.
There's always something is always going to happen
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
to show you how to work different,
Yes.
especially in the world in the pseudo sport of pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I get in trouble for telling people that because it's is it a sport? Well, not really, but it kind of is a little bit.
Mhm.
It's very active. It's an good pro wrestling should look like an athletic competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, you should look like you're in a contest, even though we know now that you're working with the person, not against them. Right?
Mhm.
That's why it should. If you're good at what you do, and if you're smart about how you work, it shouldn't look like you're trying. You know, and your training shouldn't kill you before your match does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a
Yeah.
lot of people get hurt in training and they never have a match. Well, that's stupid. Learn how to work smart, not hard,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
you know? And that's the difference, just if you understand the difference between working smart and working hard, the psychology of that will save your career in a lot of cases. Let's talk about this crazy man that you married. He's he's working as we speak. By the way, he is inside the building, right behind Eva Rae, or right next to her, training as a referee. Now, got to ask you a question. I'm gonna get in trouble. Your husband may not like me. So you started first, and he followed you, right?
I did, yes.
Is that because he wanted to see what you were up to? Like, who are these guys that you're working with? See, I know it. I know it. You smiled. You gave it away. You gave it away. Okay. So let's talk about, why did your husband get into the wrestling business?
So I started seeing this kind of a promo on Facebook for a wrestling academy. Right. And looked into it, really wanted to go, really wanted to start wrestling. And he's always been a huge wrestling fan. Right. Well, so we went to a local indie show so I could meet the trainer, talk to him. And my husband had absolutely no interest in actually training. He is not a people person. He likes his alone time. And he's like, well, maybe I could train to be, do the booking or do the backstage stuff, really help put on a show as a part of being part of the show. Yeah. And so the very first one, I went down by myself, and my trainer said, hey, since you're married, or you have a significant other, we really would like them to come down so they could see that everything is proper, everything's above board. We just want them to be comfortable with you being here with all the guys.
You know what? And I forgive me for interrupting. I hardly ever do it. Amelia, tell you.
Yeah, right. He's lying to you. Don't believe him.
She's laughing at me like she's seen the show before. Okay.
I might have hinted her to watch.
The fact that they said that to you is amazing to me. I love that. I love the fact that they said that to you right out the gate. Because, this is a business that this business will kill a marriage. Mm-hmm. It has. I've seen it happen on a lot of occasions. Mm-hmm. It will kill a relationship. But the fact that they said to you straight out the chute, bring your husband here, let him see what's going on. Kudos to you guys, man. Like, whoever they are, like, send me their info, because I'm going to give them a shout out on the show, for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're they're absolutely spectacular. His number one concern, my trainer, obviously, is safety. And feeling safe in the environment that you're training in. Number one thing, no drama. He wants all his students. He's talked about going to other schools before, and he's like, you get there and that's all that's there is drama. It's like, you guys are training. You need to help each other. The veteran students help the newer ones. So my husband came down the next training session, and his whole goal was just to observe. And I told him, I was like, you're going to watch it one time and you're going to want to get in the ring. And I'd already told my trainer, I was like, I'll get him in the ring. Cause I was like,
addictive. It really is addictive, isn't it?
Well, and he's like, I don't want to be a wrestler. I don't want to have all the attention on me. I was like, well, what about being a ref? And he's like, oh, I just don't know. So I packed him some shorts. He didn't know I packed them. And I packed him some athlete shoes. He didn't know. And I came in and I introduced, him to the trainer, and he got on his soapbox about how, well, you should get in there and try the ring and this and that. And he's like, well, I didn't bring anything. I was like, oh, but you did.
Yeah, surprise.
So, yep.
Okay, your wife did.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yep. The rest was history. And he's a natural. I mean,
your ass is booked, brother. Your wife took care of your ass.
Yep.
It's funny. It's absolutely funny that you say, and I don't mean funny, haha, ironic funny. Amelia will tell you, Thursday night, we did an entire show dedicated to referees.
Yes.
I swear to you, we did an entire show dedicated to referees. And for your husband to say, I'm laughing this because it's fucking hilarious. For your husband to say, I don't want the attention on me. Well, guess what? What's your husband's name? I want to talk to him.
Chris.
Chris, you're a schmuck. Listen, Negro, if you're a referee, my brother, I love you, but all the attention is on you, and it's supposed to
Yeah,
be.
part of the show.
You are part of the show. In fact,
Yep.
without you, there ain't no show.
Nope.
Okay?
Nope.
So
Yep.
you might want to rethink your position of not wanting to stand out in the crowd.
Hmm.
Baby, you're going to stand out like a
Yeah.
sore thumb, especially if you're reffing your wife's match.
That's how I was too. I didn't want to be
Shit.
I was just going to be a guest on the show.
I don't think
I'm real
Chris knows what
camera
he got
shy,
into.
and I was going to be one show. I'm real camera shy, and it was like, like that. And I was like, well, here I am. And he even said, he's like, where's Jeff? And I was like, he's over there. He goes, well, bring him on. I want to talk to him. So he did the same thing. He introduced himself and everything too. He says, I'm Angelo, like that. So kudos to you, Angelo. He
Well,
introduced
thank you,
himself
dear.
to Jeff. So he says we're gonna do shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and
That's it.
family time, and
Absolutely. See,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was probably Chris. You know what, Chris? I won't
Yeah.
talk to you again. I'm probably a lot more like you than you realize.
Yeah.
Here's the
I'm
thing.
a loner too. So yeah, I know exactly
Like-
how it feels.
Like
Mhm.
Eva, I was one of those people, and I really was. I was
Mhm.
one of those people. It's like, how do I get over this hump? This self-esteem shit.
Yeah.
Well, there's two ways to do it. You can either crawl into the corner and stay there, or you can burst out of the corner and go, ta-da!
Yeah. That's pretty much what I did. Hello, I'm here.
And that's what we all did because
Yeah.
first of all, we're show offs. And here, look at me. The whole world is looking at me right now, and most of them are.
Mhm.
At least there's several 100,000 of them are anyway. So don't get nervous. There's only probably about 300,000 people watching. Right
Yeah. Don't get too nervous.
Yeah, don't get too nervous. No pressure, no pressure. So what is your ultimate goal? What is it that you see yourself doing in wrestling? Do you strictly want to wrestle? Do you want to expand your career from wrestler to something else? What is it that you have in mind?
Well, I mean, right now I'm kind of taking it a step at a time.
Mhm.
And my big goal is to be a wrestler and really
Right.
be known for that. I know that a lot of wrestlers um, you know, tend to dabble into other things and become famous
Right.
in other things, managers,
Well, yeah,
bookers, things like
sure.
that. But really for me, it's all about that wrestling right now. It's like I help our promotion put on a lot of wrestling events. I go to other wrestling events, and every time I walk out of there after seeing guys wrestle, it doesn't matter if it's a good match, a bad match, a mediocre match. It's like I want to be in there so bad my chest hurts sometimes, and that's really what I want to do.
I want to talk about that. I'm glad you brought it up.
Mhm.
I've seen you mostly on Facebook posting show posters
Yes.
from your local promotion there. Give
Mhm.
them a plug. Promote them a little bit on the show. It looks like they do a really professional show.
Oh, they absolutely do. I mean, the promoter and trainer, Space Cowboy Jason Jones for Mid States Wrestling.
Right.
It's his livelihood. I mean, and
So-
he is amazing at it.
And not to interrupt you, but I want to make sure I want to get this right. So Jason Jones is the trainer that's training you at his school, and he also owns the promotion, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he
Okay,
does.
so now is the promotion I'll give you an example. The Monster Factory, they did shows right from the Monster Factory,
Mm-hmm.
the training center. Larry Sharp used to have matches at the training center. Is that what Jason does also? Does
No,
he have shows there?
no. The training center is just a small training center with a couple rings. We
Okay,
have
gotcha.
like every other month we'll switch locations. We either have a show in Harrison, which is where it's based out of in Arkansas, or we'll have a big show up at the Relics Event Center in Springfield, which is where we
Okay.
were this past Saturday.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So now there's And the name of the promotion. I wanted to tell you. What's the name of the promotion?
Mid States Wrestling.
Mid States. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's MSW is their logo, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I see that. Or she, Eva posts this MSW like this. What is it? MSW. It's and I didn't know what it was, but Mid States Wrestling. So that organization is owned by Jason Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's the trainer and promoter. Amelia, any questions?
What's the phone
For
number if
Eva?
anybody wants to get it involved or call to, and the phone number for them if they want to get involved to
Is there
train
a website that they have or a
or contact
number?
information?
There is on Facebook. You can just go to Mid States Wrestling.
Okay.
And it goes straight to the website, and it has the phone
Okay.
number and everything you need to
Perfect.
get in touch with them.
Perfect.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, your husband is still inside.
He still wants your husband.
Getting his ass kicked right now.
Yep.
What is his eventual goal to go beyond referee, or does he want to do something in promotion? What is Chris's thoughts on where to go after ref training?
We've talked about it, and him, like, when we first got married, the only reason he would go do certain things is because I dragged him out of the house. And it's kind of the same way with, wrestling. We talked about, and I asked him all the time. I was like, now that you're in the ring, you're doing the ref thing, you're already out in front of a crowd, you love wrestling so much. Why not consider being a wrestler? He's like, I still just don't want the attention, like the merch table, the gimmick stuff, being up there and interacting with the fans other than just being a ref. Because he's under that impression that if he does a really good job in a match, people will not notice him. They'll be paying attention to the wrestlers. And he gets tons of compliments all the time, and he does a great job. But we've talked about us, he's like, well, I might go to this show with so-and-so, and then he doesn't want to go. I was like, well, what do you want to do with it? And he said, well, I started this because you're doing it. I thought it was something we could do together. And if you ever get signed to a big promotion, he's like, I figured I'd probably follow you and see if they need a ref. And I was like, okay.
And it's that he's not far off. He's not far off the mark, honestly. With most promotions except WWE, and that company will deliberately try to break you up, and that's what they do. That's just Vince McMahon gets off on that. I'm serious. Yeah. I know this man. His mind is just warped like that. He's just a twisted old man. But he just revels in pushing the woman to the hilt and then leaving her husband by the wayside. Perfect example. Mark Merrow and Sable. Perfect. Classic example. Yes. Mark Merrow and Sable. Okay. She was like riding the crest of the wave, and people were going, who are you? Bad situation that made worse.
Well,
so
and the
I
thing
think if Chris is smart, the two of you will make a pact to work together, go together. You're a package deal. If I get signed, he gets signed. If you're not signing him, you can't have me.
Yes, exactly.
That's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
I told him it'd make me look better coming in with my own ref.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I got news for you. That's what I'm not going to mention who they are. I'm not going to mention the couple's name, but there's a very prominent couple right now in AEW. That's how they came in. If you want me, you got to take my wife.
Yep.
And if you don't want her, then you don't want me.
Yep.
Guess what? They took them both.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tony Khan paid them both too. So let's let me get Eva's name back up here. Here you go. Hot damn, there you go. So I guess the lesson is, if you want to train hard, train smart. If you have a goal, go for it. Don't let anything stop you. Eva, what other motivational tidbits can we give people? Don't quit. Don't take no for an answer. Tell everybody like what learn from Eva. She's here to educate you. Go ahead, kid. Tell them.
Well, you know, one of my favorite things, and I just saw this a couple weeks ago on TikTok. You know, when you start going to the gym, when you start dieting, you're very discouraged because you don't see results every single day. You know, and a lot of people tend to slip back into their old habits. They tend to say, why does it matter? But the biggest thing is whether or not you're right.
Oh,
And whether
yeah.
or not you're seeing results, as long as you get up and you do it every single day, you will eventually see results.
I love that video that
So,
you that
Yeah.
that keep that
By
mirror.
the way,
Love that video.
speaking of great, thank you, Eva. Great segue. Watching your diet. This episode is sponsored by Pepsi and fine Pepsi product. Look up in our right hand logo, Pepsi, proud sponsor of Wrestling with the Future, and Pepsi Zero, my newest favorite. Tonight I'm going diet. Wait, here we go. Here it is. I have to hold the prop right.
Right.
This is called marketing placement here. I understand like what Vanna White do like this.
There you go. He's like this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eva. You know what? We almost didn't need anybody else tonight except Eva. This has been
Right?
pretty good hour. You know, we've been talking for an hour already.
Yeah.
oh goodness.
So but I want to show that video again. I want to show Eva's video.
Yep.
Because it was just so damn good. I want to show it. Oh, by the way, here you go. Check this out.
It's a mixed tag team action.
Take a look at it.
This event is for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner, from Dallas, Texas, we have Wendy Richter.
This is that
And her partner
gender.
from Los Angeles, California, Nature Boy, Buddy Landell. And across the ring,
There's
from
Princess
Victoria,
Victoria.
British Columbia, Princess Victoria. And our partner from Lexington, Kentucky, Leaping Lanny Poffo.
A mixed tag team bout. Princess Victoria and Leaping Lanny
Show you
Poffo
the beginning
against.
of it, you know. I wanted to at least show you the beginning of it. I was looking forward to showing Vicky that, you know, Princess Victoria.
Yeah.
I really wanted her to see it, but damn, oh man. But anyway,
Yeah.
there it is. I just wanted to see that's an idea for intergender. You have like 4 names, you know. You never want to put like a name against a nobody because, like, you know, they're going to get crushed. Once in a while, they'll flip the script and they'll have the underdog win, but it's very rare. But you got Princess Victoria, you know, and Lanny Poffo against Buddy Landell and Wendy Richter. That's a hell of a lineup, you know. That's a really great lineup. So, Eva Rae Birch, where can people find you on social media? Give your contact, give your social media, give your booking information, all that fun stuff.
Well, right now on Facebook, it's just me, Eva Rae Birch, until I start getting a gimmick off the ground. And then on...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I have a gimmick for you. I'm going to tell you when we get off the air, so don't go nowhere.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, I'm just so excited. Good.
Yeah, I know he's good at it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
On Instagram, I'm under TQ Athletics right now. I kind of started that when I started the whole powerlifting thing because I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with my gimmick yet.
Yeah.
And that stood for Trauma Queen because I was a paramedic getting into it. And then I do have a TikTok that I've started to put some workout stuff up on and going through my journey, especially with some of my personal record stuff with powerlifting. And it's just called Pumped Up and Proper. So those are the 3 main places. I don't do a lot of Twitter yet.
Good.
So
Yeah, I haven't gotten into that yet, but I think of you as a power tower. That's what I think of you as.
I like it.
I like it. See, I could think of it just like that. But yeah, I know that you were saying, about the bullies when you were going to school, even
Mhm.
though, and I even had bullies too, and it's hard, being with the bully, and then, getting older and everything, and it's like, showing them like you're older, and I'm like, haha, see, look, I got back at you, but it's so different, you know, you being that kind of bully, and then this kind of bully, what I'm trying to say. It's when you're skinny going to school and you're wanting to be tougher, but you want to be stronger in case, and then your type of bully, and then I gained a lot of weight as I got older and trying to lose the weight, and then I have bullies at work. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You still have bullies no matter where you
Yeah.
go,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
Well,
harder.
yeah, but that's why we train
It's
hard and we
yeah.
train smart to get over.
Mhm.
We don't let people, especially if you have low self-esteem,
Yeah.
you get into wrestling to get over that.
Yes. And
And
I wanted to do that, and I wanted to. Oh, where did she go?
oh, where'd she go?
Uh-oh. I had a
Oh,
point.
where'd she go?
Uh-oh. I don't
Oh,
know.
Eva.
Uh-oh. Did we lose her?
Wow, she just disappeared. Where the hell did she go?
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh my God. Did she have to go back into training? Oh man.
I guess she had an
Oh, here she
hour
is.
on her.
You just scared the hell out of
I
us.
was scared. I was like, oh no.
You
And
scared us. I said, "Oh shit, where'd
hold
she
up.
go?" I'm freaking out. Like, what the
And
hell happened?
and so what I
Who's
did
stealing my guest away from me? Damn.
and so what I did is I decided to go back into the gym, and
Right.
I wanted to get into kickboxing and things like that so I could actually better myself for it. And
Yeah,
I'm
and
going to
that's
start
what we
doing
were
that
saying
again.
is when
Yeah.
Eva got
Yeah.
taken
And
away here.
yeah, and so
Um,
I'm going to start
you,
doing that
we
again
we
to better
don't
myself
let
and feel better for myself.
we
Mhm.
don't let
Uh,
people
hmm
we don't let
hmm
people bully
hmm
us,
Yeah.
especially when we have chosen
Yeah.
to rise above that,
No, but
and
that's
that's
what I
why
Mhm.
we
got from
train
your
hard and
Facebook.
smart.
Yeah, that's what I got from
Well,
watching your Facebook. And
yeah,
thank you for that. I really,
Oh.
really want to thank you for that. You inspired me
Oh, you're
for that.
welcome.
good for
Yes.
you. Good for
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
I'm glad. I'm
That's what I
glad. I
was trying
really
to
am.
make my point across. And I was thinking about school and then your kind of bullies and my kind of bullies. And I thought, you know what? She inspired me. I am going to the
Oh,
gym
I
and I'm
just
going to
thought you were
kickboxing.
rambling.
Oh, be quiet. No, but I was,
She does that
thinking,
once in a while. She goes on a tirade, and I just sit
yeah,
back and go, "Okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah. But I was
yeah,
trying,
you just let her talk again."
but
Nah,
I was thinking
I'm
about different
usually
kind
the
of
one on the
bullies.
tirade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
that's
wanted
usually
to
me.
say thank you for that. I really, really appreciate that.
And I want to say thank you, Eva Rae Birch, for being my singular guest tonight. You made it
Yes.
well worthwhile. Ladies' night ended up being an evening with Eva, and I like it.
Yes.
Now, is it? I've
Yes.
been calling you Eva all night. Is it Eva or Eva?
Eva.
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 I'll
I like
answer to a
Eva
lot though.
better. Change your name to Eva. I like Eva better.
No, it's Eva in Spanish.
There you go.
Eva.
So listen, we're gonna go around the horn here. So we got Eva's uh all her social. Amelia, where can people reach you? How can they get a hold of you?
Facebook, it's Amelia Valerio Chapman. Email is aachap70@gmail.com. And here with you on Tuesday and Thursday nights.
All right. And as we go out, we will play our 10 bell salute one more time for the passing of the legendary bad guy Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. We also want to remember tonight someone a lot of you don't know or don't remember. He was a three-time guest on this show. He was a friend of mine. His name is J.J. McIntyre. I'm sorry, J.J. McGuire. Oh, please. J.J. McIntyre is another friend, actually friend of mine. J.J. McGuire is the guy who wrote all of those amazing WWE theme songs. J.J. passed
Yes.
away this week. As I said, we were friends and had lost touch. And JJ, I know that you're in a good place now.
Yes.
I love you, brother, and I'm sorry if I hurt you. So tell my dad I said hi. Okay. 4, Eva Rae Birch. 4, Amelia Mad Dog Chapman. Oh, let's play a Mad Dog a firecracker. I'm Mad Dog DeCipio, Angelo DeCipio saying goodbye, everybody. We'll take you out with Scott Hall.